Well, it was sort of shaping up to be a bit of a Bannerlord-y weekend where I actually had 3 Bannerlord videos ready and waiting to go up. This developer blog, one on some new really cool leaked concept art that actually came out of the early stage of the game. There's some quite interesting stuff we can pull from that. And another one about a Bannerlord sort of knockoff game that is actually being crowdfunded. That I think that's more of a joke. But I had some terrible internet, hence the late upload for this one, so please bear with me for that one. But this developer blog is a lot about the map making, going into some of the multiplayer as well, and the classes and what we can expect from that. So make sure you sit back, relax, and I know it's another short Bannerlord dev blog, but what do you really expect at this point? Thank you once again for Tailworlds for keeping us updated with this game. Enjoy the video. Well, let's look a little bit into the multiplayer. We do know in Mount and Blade, it is known for its wide variety of weapons, and each weapon has its own advantages and disadvantages on the battlefield. For example, if you're using a short sword, you're not going to be able to do that much damage, but when it comes to speed, you're probably going to be faster on the battlefield than someone that's using a bastard sword or a great sword. But watch out, these bastard swords and great swords will have that advantage in power and attack and the damage that they can do. It was known in Warband that scimitars or scimitars were known for how fast they were, and maces were known to be able to knock people on the floor, which could get quite annoying. But all that aside, all I'm trying to say is they're keeping that in Bannerlord. The massive variety of weapons and different classes they're each able to use, and they all have their individual perks. You might be able to use their perks one way, but it might not be the most efficient way. So knowing what each class and what each weapon does is going to be extremely beneficial for you on the battlefield. All these troops and all these classes, it's going to be very hard to get it balanced. So that is of course at the forefront of the mind, and for a multiplayer game, thank you so much for knowing and acknowledging that balance needs to be perfect for this game if to get the multiplayer surviving, because the Warband multiplayer is still going to this day, and I think that's because it's pretty well balanced and people are still able to have fun no matter what faction they play as, although saying that, Swadians are the best. But with all these new factions, getting each faction to not only be balanced but also unique is going to be very hard for them to do, because of course each faction also has sub-factions, and within this, different troops within those sub-factions and different classes you can play as. Now we see a screenshot here of some of the very early mapping design, and there's something quite interesting about this that I've managed to pick out. If you look on the right here, we have a dock. Now, what I'm guessing is from this early work is that the grey sort of tiles in the middle are fences that you're able to jump over, and they all have holes in them and things. The outside is maybe a palisade wall, which is why it's a more browner colour, and the blue one, is this a jetty or an entrance to a dock? There's ships there. Will we have battles where you can use ships and land at the same time? Now, of course, very much speculation from what we can take from this, but we do know there are examples of ships that we've seen in some of the trailers and the gameplay. Maybe you'll be able to use ships in this, and when we go into some of the concept art that was leaked a few days ago in tomorrow's video, there's a lot of concept art on ships, and I just want them to be able to put ships in the multiplayer for Bannerlord, because it was coming into Warband basically. Napoleonic Wars, by the end of its lifetime, started to put ships in it. Let's please hope they can put ships in the multiplayer for this. I think that'll be absolutely awesome. Storming the beaches with your clans, with your tribes, with your weapons, under the hail of arrow fire. This could add some new and interesting dynamics to the game. But each faction does have its advantages and disadvantages, which is going to make one or another better for each scenario, but at the same time, balance is in there. For example, horse archers aren't going to be great for storming a castle, but there is talk about being able to maybe sally out with these horse archers and attack the siege camp. So they are going to be useful for some things. Maybe the infantry are going to be great for going up and attacking on the walls, but if you get sallied out by these horse archers or the cavalry at the beginning from the defending team, you're going to run into some issues. But each troop class has individual item loadouts, item perks, skill perks, and armor. But whether you're agile and quick or slow and heavy depends on your class, not necessarily what weapons you have. Now, I'm a little bit unsure about this, because surely if you have a massive hammer, that's going to cause you to be a lot slower, but I guess they'll probably limit each weapon to each class, so maybe only these heavier troops can get these heavier weapons, and they're going to know how to use it. So a heavier troop will probably be slow anyway, or a faster troop won't get massive weapons anyway because they won't really know how to use it. So I'm guessing that's what they're doing with the speed, agility, and power sort of ratios when it comes to the perks in the battles. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but this is a question to put out to you guys before I finish this very short video. Actually, I have a cool gift to show you. Are they doing with the troop classes? Is it going to be a Napoleonic Wars thing where each class has its set loadout? Because it does say we have individual item loadouts here, It doesn't necessarily say class loadout, so I guess that's a good sign. Or I think it's probably more hinted towards the more warband style, where you can choose what weapons, what armor each troop has. Now, as I promised you, to finish off this, we have a cool GIF, and I actually just think this looks absolutely awesome. The Valandian cavalry charging down these troops, and as they crash into them, cool shield walls, by the way. As we can see, new formations and things. This is not quite a tortoiseshell formation, but as you can see, the front guys have their shields at the front, and the guys just behind on the second rows have their shields above to block arrows, and it does nothing as the cavalry charges in. The effects as people go flying back, you can see them go absolutely flying. I think this looks absolutely awesome. But that's it for this week's developer blog. If you haven't already, subscribed, because we've got 2 more Bannerlord related videos coming in the next couple of days. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting. We've got some cool leaked concept art coming out for you tomorrow, and boy, is there a lot to get through, which is part of the reason why it's taken so long for me to actually do the video on it. But thank you for watching, and until then, I will see you in the next one.